Hello, everybody. A very warm welcome along to SportsBet TV with me, Paul Alster. I am delighted to be with you here as I look ahead now to the final day of Royal Ascot on a sweltering Saturday, the 21st of June. Fifth and final day of what's been a superb meeting, amazing weather. A little bit too warm, I think, for some of the horses and for plenty of the race goers. I think it's about time the Ascot management allow people to take their ties off or take their jacket off at the very least. It's ridiculous having people fainting in the sunshine because they won't relax the rules. But anyway, we've had the four selections were given earlier in the week on Monday, one for each day of Royal Ascot, the first four. If you're just joining me, by the way, for the first time, do press the subscribe button just below this screen. You too can get all my free selections on this service at SportsBet TV. We had four selections, three of which have run at the time of this message on Friday mid-afternoon. The first one on Tuesday, that was a good call. Divine Comedy each way, 25-1, managed to run into a place with most bookmakers after not getting the very best of runs, so well done if you were on that. Then we hit the target day two in the Queen's Vase. My recommendation, Karmas, recommended at 6-1, won at 9-2 SP for Paddy Toomey, and looks a really exciting stayer in the making. On day three on Thursday, Parole d'Oro also ran very well indeed. Didn't get the best of runs if you have a look at it. Hampered twice, still finished 7th of the 30 runners, 7th or 8th. A horse, I think, very much to keep on side. And then the one going for us later on today, Friday, at the time this message is recorded, Zaran, was recommended at 10-1 each way earlier in the week. Now, even allowing for a couple of horses that have not taken part and are non-runners, so there will be a deduction of some sort. Zaran is now 9-4. So if you got on early when I suggested on Monday, you're holding a nice ticket, and let's hope that he runs well for us. Well, it's also been a pretty good week. Ups and downs, of course, at Out in Front, my subscription service. If you're interested to sign up there for the monthly membership or just go along day to day, you can do so by clicking the link just below this screen in the description box. We'll be more than happy to have you along. I've got 5 selections going there on Saturday alone at Royal Ascot. And I'll take you to my one free selection that I have for you this Saturday. It is at Royal Ascot in the 5 o'clock. The Wokingham Handicap, of course, one of the hottest 6 furlong sprints of the season. Good to firm 28 runners. And on the evidence of racing on Thursday, at least, there appears to be a marked bias in favour of the stand side of the track on the straight course. And unless the clerk of the course puts a lot of water down to try and even out that advantage, it's probably going to be folly backing anything drawn much lower than stall 14 in this really tough handicap. That said, drawn 13 is the George Baker train Get It, winner of last season's Stewards' Cup, of course, where he made all the running for that famous success. And he did the same again over this course and distance at Ascot in May, where he broke the track record in the process. Now, this horse bounces off fast ground, so despite the modest draw, he could still figure, especially if he gets out quickly and works his way towards the near side rail and the apparently favoured ground. His stable companion, Desert Cop, is much better drawn in 25. I bet George Baker is wishing he could swap the draws for his 2 runners. But Desert Cop is no mug. He also loves quick ground. He's been running in Bahrain during the winter. Needs to improve, though, significantly on what he did earlier in the month at Epsom, where he was outpaced, really, and maybe not suited by the track. Now, the top weight is an old favourite of ours, Apollo 1, trained by Peter Charalambos, a rock-solid horse who was second to Get It in the Stewards' Cup, and then only narrowly failed to beat the subsequent Group 1 winner, American Affair, in the Portland Handicap at Doncaster last September. And when you think back, he had no chance, really, did he? Trying to give American Affair £11. He's by no means out of this either, despite his welter burden, because he's a rock-solid handicapper, Apollo 1. Now, Charlie Appleby's symbol of honour represents a team in fine form and has won 4 of his last 5 starts, including his latest Group 2 triumph in the Sandy Lane Stakes at Haydock. He handles quick ground too, and his stall 15 draw is not disastrous, but it's going to be tough for a 3-year-old taking on older horses, really tough and talented handicappers. And I think it will be a mighty effort if Symbol of Honour could land this race off a handicap mark of 110 as a 3-year-old. That really would be something pretty outstanding. Now, More Thunder for William Haggas and a Ram Ram for Richard Hannon have done battle twice this season, with More Thunder coming out on top both times. Only by a short head, though, in their latest clash in a heritage handicap at Newmarket on 2,000 Guineas Day. Since then, a Ram Ram has gone back to Newmarket and won, and now finds himself a little bit worse off with his old rival. Now, the thing is, they're both talented, up-and-coming handicappers, and he has... the better draw is with More Thunder, so I think that one has slightly better chance than a Ram Ram, if nothing else because of having that draw in stall 23. Now, Pura Sang for Andrew Balding has also got form with More Thunder from earlier in the season, and he's got a nice pull at the weights along with a decent draw. And Pura Sang is no forlorn hope to reverse the form and run well. Zoom Zoom for Rafe Beckett ran a blinder on his seasonal return in the listed Cathedral Stakes at Salisbury, where he did himself no favours with an uncharacteristic slow start. He wouldn't want to do that again, but he still came there with every chance inside the distance, failing by just half a length to give £5 to Fair Angelica. And in the same race, Giraffe, trained by Owen Burrows, had a better run at it and seemed a little uncomfortable on the quick ground and was a further half length back in fourth. That said, Giraffe has been the subject of some good market support in the anti-post market, so obviously they're expecting him to run well and maybe don't have the same concerns about the quick ground that I, for one, have. Now, my selection, well, in a very tough race to figure, Orazio, trained by Charles Hills, and the mount of Safi Osborne is my each-way selection here at SportsBet. He's one of two I'll be backing in the race. The other I have already highlighted at Out in Front, and you know how you can find out about that. Now, this grey gelding Orazio finished like a train when he was beaten just 3/4 of a length in this very race last year, having been well behind over a furlong out. And he was favourite for the 2023 running of this race and ran another good race to be 6th. And they've kept him fresh for this because he's a horse who tends to go well after a break, and this will be his first start for more than 8 months. The fast ground is going to suit Orazio, and he's nicely drawn in stall 26, and he's coming back after the break that seems to suit him so well. So I think at 14-1 each way at the time of this recording, and with Sky Bet paying 7 places, I think Orazio has a big chance of another big run, and maybe it'll be third time lucky for him, for Charles Hills and Safi Osborne. So that is my selection at the end of what has already been a profitable week at Royal Ascot, if you follow my tips here at SportsBet. Whatever you're backing, I hope you have a good run for your money. And I, of course, will be back at the same time next week with more views on the weekend racing. Best of luck, enjoy the weather. Bye-bye for now.